What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 4 of the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoons May 2024 tournament. We got a couple of rad decks to show you that haven't been featured yet on this month's video, so without further ado, let's dive into the list. First up, we have Joe with his Fling Atog brew. This is a bit of a mashup of a few different decks. First, obviously being a Mud artifact control list, running those Onxa Mishras, Tangle Wires, Winter Orbs, and also a Phyrexian Dreadnought Fling list. Notably, Phyrexian Dreadnought does not have a way to get its ability stifled here, so the only way to really capitalize on it is by using Fling. I guess you can also technically sack it to the Atog as well. And Goblin Welder is a really nice include in this, just being able to bring back any artifact you might lose, including another Phyrexian Dreadnought to either Fling it or again sack it to an Atog. Overall, a very fun mashup. I can't wait to see how it does. Next up, we have Moze on what he's calling Gators, presumably after the 4 Phyrexian Negators in the main, and this is just a pile of 5-color nonsense, and I love it. It is base green, so you do get access to color fixing with Birds of Paradise. There are also 3 Gemstone Mines, 4 City of Brasses, and 3 Undiscovered Paradises, which are not a common land you see in Premodern, but can be pretty useful, especially when you're running Winter Orbs. Always being able to have at least 2 mana up if you tap all out is kind of interesting little side tech here. Thornscape Apprentice is also a really cool include. Being able to give your Phyrexian Negator first strike can be super beneficial. Overall, this is a value pile with a lot of fun tricks here. Can't wait to see how it goes. And here we go. Joe on the left, Moze on the right. Looks like we're gonna get a little roll off to see who goes first. And it looks like Moze will take the play here. Both players playing a brew, which is always nice to see. Lately, for these later rounds, we have not always been bringing the top table, especially if someone has already been on camera before. Oh, it looks like Joe's going to be looking for a better 6 here. And the main reason to do that is because, well, it gets a little repetitive after a while. And I know a lot of you out there want to see the cool decks, the unique decks. And don't worry, we'll still show the semifinals and the finals, of course, with the top decks, but definitely want to help showcase some of the variety that the Portland metagame has. We'll hope Joe sees a better 6. Lands and spells, all that good stuff. Mo's keeping a strong 7. Looks like he has a Birds of Paradise in hand. Always a good way to start the game, especially if you're in so many colors. Alright, quick look at both players. Mo's also having a Winter Orb. Might be relevant. I think I did see a Bolt in Joe's hand though, so we might just be getting a Bolt the Bird here. Few things are as classic to Magic as bolting the bird. Maybe Dark Ritual Hippie comes pretty close, I feel like. Alright, Mountain. Come on, you gotta do it, right? Yep, bolt the bird. I also missed in the deck that those were Chris Rush signed lightning bolts. Very cool. Alright, mine coming down from Moze. Probably not playing out the orb here, no real reason to. You do not have a mana advantage, and I mean your opponent just untaps the 1 land they have, so. Oh, interesting. Mo's just gonna pass, does not have any action. Alright, this will be interesting. Joe did just draw an Ankh. Do we play it? No, let's play a Black Vise. Let's play 2 Black Vises. Well, actually, counter 1. Mana Leak, being relevant. I'll just go to Paradise. That's actually not going to be great with that Black Vise for sure. Bouncing a land every time, increasing or not decreasing your hand is going to be a bit tricky. Alright, looks like we're going to tap for 3 here. Go get an Elephant. Bo's using the, I believe, Ice Age Woolly Mammoth. Maybe it's 4th. Oh. Golem Bomb. Yeah, might as well crack it now. Get rid of that 0 cost. A Goblin Welder. Now able to return that Powder Keg at will, assuming it survives this turn. Mose does have swords. Alright, he's gonna fetch here. Probably just grab him. Oh, plant. Or I guess he doesn't have planes, he just has forests for his fetch lands. Which makes sense. Like I said, he is a base green deck, relying on the color fixing that green provides. I think he's got a River Boa, which is interesting. Not going to be super relevant here. No islands to be found. Yeah, it's just gonna pass.
These cards are like not lining up for me the way I want.
Joe thinking here. He's actually gonna play out a Tangle Wire. Interesting. Now, there is some trickiness you can do with Golem Welder and Tangle Wire. You can actually sack the Tangle Wire before it's your turn, so you don't have to worry about tapping down 3 things. And of course, you can just bring it back on your end step as well. Having that Golem Welder not have Summoning Sickness now means any artifact in Joe's graveyard is relevant. Alright, looks like we're going to tap 1 for the Thunderscape Apprentice. And just going to pass it back to Joe. But on your end step. Oh, interesting. Not getting the Tangle Wire. So it still has to tap down 3. Also putting a counter. Are we taking care of all the... I guess there's only one drop on both sides. That would make no sense. So interesting, Thornscape can actually force that tap. Oh, we're gonna get a Anka Mishra. And pass. Another card that's really good against Undiscovered Paradise. And the question is, do you force the tap down on Golem Welder now? There's not really a good target in Joe's graveyard, but it looks like he's just going to tap it to the Tangle Wire. And looks like Mose did just draw a Swords. Okay, we're going to swing in. Does have the mana up to regenerate it, so just going to be swinging in for 2. That Ankh is a bit of an issue. Mose does have a City of Brass, so he could play that out instead of having to bounce the Undiscovered Paradise every time.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I know. I had it in my hand. I should have played it like so long. I'm like, oh,
Really hemming and hawing over if he's going to play that land. Playing a forest. Interesting. Okay. And go. Choosing to play neither of his multicolor lands. Alright. On end step. Go get the black vice. Untap. Is actually going to take it up. Okay. Are we going to be going after the river boa? I mean, it can just regenerate. Even if Joe taps down one of the lands. Well, I was going to just activate it in response. No reason not to. And Joe is going to pass. Alright, tap into the wire. Did draw Fire Ice. That would be a pretty clean answer to the Goblin Welder. Once he has a red mana source. I know, we're just going to pass. Very interesting, because right now... Oh, okay. Joe may be realizing the mistake of the powder keg. Yes, Riverboa has regenerate. Oh, and then Mose is going to play a land, maybe realizing that Joe can't react to playing a land. And now is going to pass. I think. Looks like he made the hand motion, but maybe not. Okay, on your end step, sack the tangle wire. In response, ice the goblin. Alright, well, now that means Joe is free to kill the Thornscape Apprentice if he wants. It's not the best value, but that card can get annoying pretty quick. It looks like that's what he's going to do. It also does hit the Vice as well, which I think is not going to be relevant. At least not for a long time. Winter Orb would be pretty good. We know that I think Mose has one in hand, but he's not willing to play it out anytime soon. Joe does have 2 factories on the field and can start laying down the beats if that's what he wants to do. But it looks like that's not the case. Just gonna play out a Mind Stone. Ooh, it looks like he has an Atog in hand as well. Alright, tap down, City Brass. Might as well. Deal a point to you. Bo's gonna use the green to regenerate the boa. Swing in for 2. Doing some figuring out for tapping here. Alright, Winter Orb. Now is the time to use it. Alright. A Chromatic Sphere coming down. Just more fodder for the Atog. I was explaining that you can still untap and return a land. Definitely a benefit, like I said in the deck tech, of Gators Paradise with Winter Orb. And it's funny is both players are playing Winter Orb in their decks, which is not always the case. And it is very interesting seeing an aggro deck like Moses, which is I think what I would characterize it as. It's definitely got some mid-range elements. Oh, not forgetting about those elephants. I'll flash them back. We got another 3/3 and go. I have to imagine we see an Atog here. Just something to protect the beats. Atog, of course, is sack an artifact. Gets +2/+2. Quick calculation of the number of artifacts that Joe has. If he does animate both of his Mishra's factories, he has 4. But that would be pretty harsh to have to do that. And Mo's just deciding if it's clear for an attack. How many artifacts are you willing to sacrifice to keep your Atog alive? Ooh, and we're going for a full swing here. Riverboa definitely makes sense. Alright. Sack it. And swords in response. Do you want to sack it to make it bigger just to gain some life? Right now he's just gaining 1. Now Winter Orb is definitely still a thing on the battlefield too. Joe does not have any more cards in hand. Alright, he's going to sack that one. So you gain 3. To take 2. So just gains 1 from all that. Another land, that's not what you want to see. And Mo smells blood in the water. Yes, there is a untapped factory. But are you willing to trade that factory with a token? I don't think so. Oh, okay, yeah. That trade is going to happen. Alright, this is an Anurid, something. I probably should have looked at this. Was a one of in Moses' list. Is it Wretched Anurid? No, it's a different kind of Anurid. Wretched Anurid is the black one, which is why I'm more familiar with it. It is Brush Hopper. You can discard 2 cards from your hand to remove it from the game or return it to play at the end of its owner's turn. So, some pseudo kind of blink protection. But the main thing is it's a beater and it is accelerating this clock, and I believe Joe is going to be dead very shortly. Oh, that's a Phyrexian Dreadnought. Fling. Deal 12. The sack cost is part of the Fling. Oh my god, so this actually just opens up Mo's to a lightning bolt off the top. That is very interesting. Alright, tap down a land. Gonna use the green to regenerate. Might as well. Draw for turn. Swing for 5, down to 4. Joe, do you find a lightning bolt? I'm trying to think of whether it's worth me playing another card here. And Mo's wondering if he plays out a creature here. I don't think he has a swords. Swords would be a good answer. You can swords your own creature. I think you'd play out... He doesn't actually have swords mana up. I think you just play out the second River Boa, make sure you have lethal, even if he finds a way to kill one of your guys.
Okay, and then I like changed some stuff. Like the whole sideboard's changed, and I changed 4 cards main because calling mine is so bad. I'm gonna take a risk.
All right, City Brass coming down. 2 for the River Boa and pass.
It saves you. I mean, yeah, you go to 1, but if you sword your 3 for like. Right.
All right, he gets 1 red. Is it a bolt? It is not. And we're gonna go to game number 2.
Oh, you're first?
Okay, here we are in game number 2. That was very close. Joe seeing the exact 2 cards he needed to make it that close. Dreadnought and Fling. Don't mean a thing if you ain't flinging that Dreadnought at somebody's face, I guess. Hitting for 12 is pretty nasty. Alright, well, I didn't see much there, but I saw a Dreadnought at least. And Mo's got a more, well, interactive hand. I did see a Bop. Alright, Joe starting off with a Tomb into a Sphere of Resistance. Everything costs 1 more. That'll definitely slow things down. Mount and go. And it looks like Joe had a lightning bolt as well. Alright, we're gonna double fetch here. Probably to play out the bird. Yep, that makes sense. Now Joe, do you take 2 damage just to kill a bird? Probably not. Oh, Mo's does have a one of planes. I didn't see it before. It's one of the Portland Monthly Premodern proxies. We are in the Rose City, so sometimes we get proxies that have roses on them. Oh, and okay, waiting until his turn so we can at least play out the factory, not have to take 2, but it is going to bolt that bird, which makes sense. Joe is squarely in the mana denial plan right now.
Never again.
The mud portion of his deck definitely showing through here. Now, we did see a Dreadnought as well, so I have to wonder if he has a Fling. Alright, Findhorn Elves. A little more ramp. Is that another bolt? You just bolt the elf? Might as well, right? In for a penny, in for a pound. Yep. Alright, tap in 3 for a Mind Stone and pass. Ooh, and we're gonna naturalize that Sphere Resistance. Yes, it does cost 3. Do have to remove a counter from that Gemstone Mine. And Mo's drawing the elephants. But looking at playing out the Brush Hopper, I think. It looks like that will be the play. It is bolt proof, which is relevant. Joe does not have a lot of good answers to it. He can double block with factories, but that would not be ideal. I think Mo's has 2 Fire Ices in hand, actually. The ice is probably not going to be super relevant, but the fires could be. Alright, we have an Ankh coming down. And a Tangle Wire. Let's slow things down. And Mo's choosing not to play out any instance is going to get a Gemstone Mine. All his colors back online again. Not have to worry about losing that mine access. Oh, yes, remembering to take 2 from the mine. Or from the Ankh, not the mine. Alright. Black Vise coming down. Can do a little. And a Winter Orb, which is going to be a little rough for Mo's. He's still going to have to tap down everything he has.
go to my untap, so this untaps. But you're not getting one land. Untap.
And just untap one thing. Just have to tap everything down.
Alright, so Tangle Wire on the stack.
But thinking here if he wants to play out an instant.
Those cards on the stack.
Is that another naturalize?
Going to naturalize your winter.
It is. Alright, we're gonna hit the Winter Orb. That makes sense. That is far more oppressive than the Tangle Wires. Remember, Joe does have a pretty easy way in the Goblin Welder to get it back. And do we start laying down the beats with the factories? Is this the time? We need to get Moe's down to 12. I think that's the magic number. Takes a point of damage. Or 2 points, sorry, from the Ankh. And I believe that's a shortcut for just animating the 2 factories. Take 4. And go. Alright, Tangle Wire on 2. I tap those 2 down. Does take a point. Thanks to the Black Vice. Is that his own Winter Orb? I don't think he's going to want to play that at this point.
Right. But I could link it during my turn if I wanted to have it untapped. Yeah, so you could attack.
And I think, yeah, we're just going to get into the red zone here, swing for 3. And go. Alright. Most keeps pointing at the Brush Hopper. Some discussion happening there, whether or not he can phase it in to make it untap. I believe phasing does not fix the orientation. It comes back in. Oh, sorry, no, actually, I've had a discussion on this before. Phasing happens before untap, which is very weird. Normally it just goes untap, upkeep, drop, but there is actually a phasing step before untap, I believe. Ooh. Interesting. Alright, we're gonna fire the factory. Is that an Armageddon? I think most just true in Armageddon. And unfortunately cannot play it out yet, but next turn he can. And that is going to be back-breaking. Alright, Joe is at 8.
Okay, 2 damage. Okay, yeah, then do it. No, wait, hold on, actually. No, 1 damage. 1 damage.
Oh, forgetting the damage from the Black Vice. Something happening here. Are we going to see the fling? Nope, Tangle Wire. Will that resolve?
That would be nice. That would be nice. I got a result. Let me think of my response to the
That definitely does slow things down. Not the card Mose wanted to see. He was looking to close out the game with an Armageddon and finishing it out with the Brush Hopper. I don't think he has a counterspell in hand right now. No mana leaks. Mana leak wouldn't even be good here. Joe could just play it. I'll bet he'd be taking 2 to do so, but maybe that'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Alright. Looks like we are going to do the phasing out. Comes back in on before his upkeep. Before his untap. Now it's tap 4. Probably just tapping all the lands here. Gonna push damage through. Makes sense. You gotta put a clock. Swing for 3. City of Brass coming down. Take 2. A little risky. Joe could just be holding double bolts. Unlikely, but. Alright, tapping 3 down. Correctly identifying that he can do so before the Tangle Wire dies to its own trigger for having no counters. Did Joe have 2 Phyrexian Dreadnoughts? I think he is literally just missing a Fling and hasn't seen one all game. If he did, the game would be over for sure. Oh, looks like we're just going to be swinging in for 2. Down to 4. Mind Stone. And go. Alright, tapping 3. Swinging for 3. Down to 2. And fire you for 2. I missed it. I totally forgot that. Yes, you can just go face with fire. So Mose takes it down in 2. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting really close to that 1,000 followers, and anyone who helps us get there is honestly just awesome. And if you've already been following the channel for a long time, you're even more awesome. If you've liked, subscribed, done everything you can to support the channel, and you want to do more, there is a Patreon link in the video description. Money from there goes towards gear upgrades, travel expenses, that sort of thing. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.